everybody, it's Dave here. I want to take a few minutes and talk about nutrition. This is one of those topics that is kind of like a religion. You know, whenever you throw out a nutritional theory, there's always somebody that wants to debate about it. And I've had a few of those comments lately. So I wanted to kind of shoot this video to give you a bigger picture of kind of my nutritional theories, and also to let you know that when I'm talking about nutrition here on YouTube, I certainly don't know everything there is to know about it. I don't claim to know everything there is to know about it. What I do know is what's working for me. My goals are probably different than your goals. You know, I just got back from a 50-mile bike ride. That's something I like to do on a Saturday. In a week, I've got a half Ironman triathlon. That may not be your goal. My nutritional plan is designed to further my goals, and your nutritional plan should be designed to further your goals. With that said, let me kind of go through a list, and I'll post a link to this here on YouTube. But I've got kind of the things that I focus on. The first one is eating whole foods. Avoiding processed junk, right? You know, when you're eating whole foods, there's basically one ingredient involved, right? A strawberry has one ingredient, a strawberry. So does an egg. These are examples of whole foods. If you pick up a protein bar and you look at the ingredient label, not the nutrition facts where it tells you carbs, protein, and fat, but the ingredient label, you see a lot of things that say OS, those are all sugars. You see a lot of things that say partially hydrogenated. These are all highly processed foods. Try to avoid that stuff. You know, when you're buying fruits and vegetables, see if you can find a local farmer's market, or if you go to localharvest.org, you can find information about community-supported agriculture. Buy local. Buy from a local farm. Buy organic if you can. I believe in eating organic food because I believe that it's simply more nutritious for you, and it's not grown in an environment that's heavy in pesticides. I know there's research that's conflicting on this issue. For me, if it's covered in pesticides, I just don't want to eat it, and more importantly, I don't want my kids eating it. So I have found a good local place where I can buy fruits and vegetables that are no more expensive than what I can buy at the grocery store, because the grocery store's got to cover all these costs of shipping everything from Chile. These guys pack it in a truck, they drive it about 10 miles, and I meet them at their farmer's market once a week. Get all the vegetables I need for 20 to 25 bucks. Great deal for highly nutritious foods. Supplements. My theory with supplementation, what works for me, is I take supplements that support the basic essential functions of my body. So I take a multivitamin, I take Shakeology, I take omega-3s, and I take some whey protein when needed. Occasionally, I take recovery formula to recover from big efforts like the one that I had today. But from a supplementation standpoint, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that when I'm eating food, my body can process those foods. So I'm trying to address the basic nutritional, or the basic functions of my body with my nutrition. Carb intake. It's really important to get your carb intake dialed into your activity, right? Somebody who's a power lifter is not going to have the same carb intake as I do as a guy who's working out for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time with doing triathlon. And when I get done with this half Ironman and I shift my training and do insanity for a little while, my carb intake's going to come down. Limit foods that make your blood acidic. Our diets are heavily acidic here in the United States. That's another really important issue that I think we need to address as a whole country. Things like soda, super acidic, right? So what does that mean? Well, it means it makes your blood tend to go towards the acidic side. Your blood wants to be right almost in the middle, maybe just slightly alkaline. So in order to regulate your blood pH and get it back to where your body needs it so it doesn't poison itself, your body has to leach essential minerals from your body, including calcium, magnesium, iodine. All of these things are essential to your body's functioning. Again, that's how I try to address my supplementation, is to make sure that my body is working correctly. You know, something like iodine is really that's the power for your thyroid. So if your body is highly acidic, or if your diet's highly acidic, you're probably going to be short on iodine. If you're short on iodine, your thyroid's going to slow down. If your thyroid slows down, your metabolism slows down. If your metabolism slows down, you gain weight. So learn a little bit more about that issue. It's kind of a sneaky issue that doesn't get a lot of publicity. Limit dairy. This is again one of those things. This is my deal. I suggest you try it. I suggest everybody try it for 30 days. Just cut the dairy out, see how you feel. I don't think I'm lactose intolerant or anything like that. I cut dairy out of my diet for 30 days, started replacing milk with almond milk. I felt better. It's just kind of that simple. I just felt better. So I've pretty much tried to limit dairy. But again, I think that's a personal issue. Healthy fat. I think that fat has been really vilified in America. I think carbohydrates are probably, excess carbohydrate intake is probably a bigger issue than fat intake. Great resource to learn more information about this. Mark Sisson. He's got a blog called marksdailyapple.com. He's got a book called The Primal Blueprint. It's not a very long book. It's extremely well written. It's entertaining, and it explains all of this very, very well. Mark's theory is that we need to have a higher fat content in our diets. So I tried this. My fat intake is currently at about 30 to 35%, somewhere in there. I don't really calculate this, so that's a rough estimate. When I'm done with the triathlon and my carb intake comes down, my fat intake will go back up. And it'll be 45% of my diet will be fats. Now, I know that sounds surprising. I highly suggest that you go investigate this issue. Read some of Mark's stuff. It makes a tremendous amount of sense, and I've been doing this for about 5 months now. I've never felt better. I've never had more energy. You know, this morning before my bike ride, instead of gulping down a big bowl of oatmeal, I had some scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs, I have found, power my body stronger and longer than carbs do, because the carbs get burned out real quick, whereas fat becomes a very efficient fuel source if you give your body enough of it. Quality over quantity. You know, this is just kind of a generalism. I see a lot of people really, really hyper-focused on how many calories they're taking in a day, down to, you know, down to 25 calories. I think that energy and that time is better invested in learning more about nutrition and taking the time to really understand everything about nutrition, or as much about nutrition as you can, rather than this sort of hyper-focus on the amount of calories you're taking in. Because you can take in 2,025 calories eating at McDonald's, but that's not going to get you anywhere. You know, if you took in an extra 200 calories, but they were because you had an extra apple and some squash, is that going to really hurt you? I don't, you know, in the long run, I think the answer is no. You know, what I do is I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat enough food to satisfy me. I don't gorge. I just eat enough food to satisfy me. I have, at this point, you know, I've done the calorie thing. I think it's good to do for a short period of time so you understand what's in the foods you're eating. I can kind of do it in my head. I can tell you how many calories I eat a day, tell you about how many I burned this morning, and I'm going to try and not let the deficit get out of control. So I'm going to have to eat more food today than I really would like to, but that's part of the game that I play doing these long workouts. The final one is the 80-20 rule, and I just stole this from Tony Horton. You know, 80-20. 80% of the foods you eat, really high quality, good stuff. 20%, not so much. It's a pretty simple rule. Most people who follow the 80-20 rule have really, really good results, because before they did 80-20, they probably did 20-80. And so getting people to do 80-20 is a good place to start. It allows them to eat some foods that they really, really enjoy, so they don't feel like they're depriving themselves. The simple fact is, if you want to look like Tony, you got to eat 90-10, and that's how Tony eats. You know, Tony was vegan for a long, long time. He was vegetarian for several years. He's eating a little bit of chicken and some eggs now, but for the most part, you know, the foods that he eats, very, very nutritious, very, very clean, and 10%, the man likes cookies. What can I say? You know, it happens. So those are my healthy eating tips. Again, this is what works for me. My idea here is not to tell you what you should do, because I don't know you personally. I don't know your goals. My goal here is to try and give you some resources to look at. And I suggest you click on that link. That's a link to our message boards and a post there. There's some great videos that explain all this stuff. Again, I think Mark Sisson is probably the best nutritional resource certainly I have found. If you're an endurance guy and you think Mark Sisson isn't for you because he doesn't really favor endurance training anymore, despite the fact that he was a world-class triathlete, check out Joe Friel and a book called The Paleo Diet for Athletes. Excellent resource. Similar theories, more geared towards endurance athletes and how to get, again, that carb intake appropriate to your activity. So I hope you found this helpful. Have a great day, and I hope it is as nice where you are as it is here today, because it is just beautiful today. Have a great one.